Hello, my wonderful people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on your time zone or anytime you are coming across my platform. If you like what you are watching, kindly subscribe, put on your notification bell to all notifications. In that way, you'll be able to know when we upload a new video. Here we react to all forms of videos. I want to appreciate YouTube for creating this wonderful platform for us to use to disseminate information to the members of the public. I at the same time put disclaimer that Linda's TV show do not and will not in any way promote hate speech, misleading information, or violence. We are only here to educate the members of the public. My dear wonderful.
Sudden change in the attitude of the Eastern politicians, the Igbo politicians, concerning this illegal detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, somehow, I don't know, maybe they heard us. They called a meeting. And in that meeting, they kind of feel like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be instrumental to the peace or to the peace process that they are trying to embark upon in Eastern Nigeria. And this time, they are ready to throw anything into it for his freedom. And from the grapevine, yeah, that's exactly what should have been done a while back. Okay, I don't know what is prompting them now, but from what I have gathered, right, it is expected before the end of this month or next month in August, if they are whatever they are pushing with P0W works out. Okay, and also depends on the pressure coming from the Fulani oligarchs that wanted to keep him as a trophy. Nnamdi Kanu can be out before the end of this month. You know, depends on where the pendulum swing between them. Because it's obvious, right, that they can't really have anything to try him with. They have him. They could make up evidences and all of that, right? But yet, they still couldn't. So, yeah, that's what I saw them doing. And I've told you this before, I don't care. I don't care whatever they come up with. Okay, an innocent man is being punished unjustly, and simply because he is also Igbo, committing no crime other than asking for a referendum where the Igbos will decide if they still want to be part of Nigeria or not. There are Igbos who still want to be, no wahala. There are Igbos who don't want to be, no wahala. Let them go to the poll called the referendum. But the beneficiaries of Nigeria from the eastern part of Nigeria always sees him as a big threat. They thought he had political ambition, political interest. They went all out to destroy him and his ideology. But despite all of that, it's pretty much not going away. And they themselves are not having the peace they thought they would have when they waged the war that they are still waging against the IPOB. You will know better later. Yeah, with time. So I saw them coming out of the Enugu government house, issuing a statement. So I was like, okay, let's hear it.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
A communique issued today, 2nd July 2024, by the Southeast Governors Forum. The forum commiserated with the government and people of Abia State, Ebonyi, Imo State, indeed the entire Southeast region and Nigeria, and the family of Ogbonnayonu's family. The people of Ogbonnayonu's family on the demise of His Excellency Dr. Ogbonnayonu. The forum received the delegation of the former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, GCFR, Chief Emeka Anyoko, GCON, and His Royal Majesty Igwe Emeka Achabe, CFR, the Obi of Onitsha, who came on a solidarity visit to this forum. The forum deliberated on the review the report of the Southeast Security and Economic Summit held in Owerri on the 28th September 2023 and agreed to implement the aspects of the report pertaining to security and economic integration of the region, and affirmed its desire to put actionable plans on the key issues agreed. The forum resolved to visit Mr. President to discuss the pressing issues, all pressing issues concerning the Southeast region. The forum also deliberated and resolved to interface with the federal government to secure the release of Nnamdi Kanu, and the meeting adjourned whenever. Thank you.
Negotiated his release in 2019 or thereabout. Was it? No, I think it was 2017. When they negotiated his release, right? They drafted the conditions and agreed with the conditions. And the condition was that he must not be seen in the midst of more than 5 people. He should never speak to the press, and he must never use the radio Biafra. So they agreed that among themselves. And the following day, they signed a paper to say they are their sureties, and they presented it to a judge who released him on bail. Now, he now went on to go and meet with the Southeast governors of that time. Devulumayi of Ebonyi. I can't remember all their names right now. Oguanyi of Enugu. I remember Oguanyi of Enugu. What's that? Ikweazu of Abia was there. This Hopeless Uzodingba was there. Who else was there at the time? Like, and then Unwabueze, the man is dead now. So they agreed to have Nnamdi Kanu to present the grievances, and he said, I have no grievances other than the marginalization, which is external. However, the internal marginalization itself, neglect of our people. People are at the mercy of the mercy of upcoming Fulani terrorists. They will not be able to defend themselves. Set up security outfits in the name of the Southeast region to provide security for the people of the region, especially the people of the rural areas prone to the attacks of these Fulani terrorists. It wasn't this deep then. No. Then he told them that to reduce unemployment and youth emigration from the region, right? That all the 5 regions should put their resources together to improve the economy of the region, provide electricity. Please, you are Igbos. That's why it said you are Igbos. You could do all these things if you wanted them, without having to use excuses of Nigeria. You could have the best road and all of that. They said he listed the level stuff, right? And all of them, none of them said anything about him, what he wanted, not even for the IPOB. Because to him, IPOB means indigenous people of Biafra. It's not a nickname, it's not an acronym. It's a full-fledged, full name, identity. Indigenous peoples of Biafra. So if I'm going to ask for anything, I will want you to please protect them. You know? So after that meeting, they just called Boko Haram that take him out. And that was why they attempted to kill him. And they said he jumped bail. Right? The next thing, Devulumayi and the rest of them, they said they were putting together their own security outfits. The moment Nnamdi Kanu from exile mobilized young people inside that in the Igbo land, he mobilized all of them. Volunteers. I have the videos here for some time. Volunteers, and they uploaded the video. These are the Eastern Security Network. The same template he gave to these people who have the political power to actually do it. Even if Nigeria won't run mad, make them run mad, but do it for the sake of your people. They won't. They send soldiers to kill him. He managed to escape from those killers. Then the next thing, the Igbo governors, they came together, they proscribed the IPOB. Okay, some of you have forgotten. It wasn't Boko Haram that first proscribed IPOB. It was these Igbo governors that came out and called IPOB, a terrorist organization. They now started their own security. They call it Ebubeagu. Ebubeagu, where they have torture houses across Igbo land. Torture houses where they will pick anyone they know that, okay, if I say this one has somebody, I mean, we know that he's a member of IPOB, he supports and follows Nnamdi Kanu. They will pick them, kill them, torture some of them. Some of them, their organs taken. Horrible things. Ebubeagu, they were supposed to go and protect the farmers from the Fulani terrorists. They were all over the place, hunting down. They said they were looking for IPOB. How can you put a security together to hunt your own people? They called in the military. They militarized the eastern part of Nigeria to intimidate every young person that might be listening to Nnamdi Kanu. They criminalize it. Now they will say, you're IPOB. Oh, you are, it's because of these roads. Now all of that didn't work. So they kidnapped him. That worked with the help of Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya, who is now parading himself all over Nigeria as one of the elder statesmen of Africa, the friend of a good-looking Biriju Lantan. So they kidnapped him, took him to Nigeria, drugged him, took him to Nigeria, tortured him, beat him and all of that. 3 years after, still unbroken. Now they are like, you know what, I think some of us, if things goes on like this, so many of those people who are attacking people in the eastern Nigeria are using his name, saying as long as he remains in that place, they are doing everything in his name, blah, blah, blah. So these politicians are now coming together to say, okay, yeah, we must get him out. I don't care how they do it. Get him out. We'll deal with the rest after. Whatever condition of that nonsense they always put together, right? The Nnamdi Kanu I have known for a while. Just let him out and watch. So here is Abaribe, one of those who volunteered as guarantors for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's bail the last time. He has something to say. All of them right now, like, they are all over the place to try and see if P0W will just use Nnamdi Kanu to shut the North up. But with this Samoa deal, $150 billion LGBTQ plus, coming back to that. Abaribe.
Go beyond this. You can go back and listen. No, I think it's beyond this. Because I know something like that. Let's come back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Are you okay?
Forget, they are politicians. They are the ones playing the back, the defense, the attack, and all that. So, somebody was trying to take it on. Niger Watchdog. You know how many information I had to kind of release offhand, just like that. So if there's a slip that says, oh, the Southeast governor, you can see I was actually trying to even remember all their past governors who were part of the prescription of IPOB. So why do you have to single it out and say, why did you say, oh, Blessings or teacher was there? Of course, it wasn't. Right? When it was, when IPOB was prescribed by, what you call the Southeast governor, you say, Okorocha, Ekweazu, Egwanyi, Devulumayi, as well as Obaino of Anambra at the time. These are kind of like men of yesterday, like they were like gone. But there are new players there now. And then the role that this Oplesuz Otingba played in terrorizing and, terrorizing, opened the gate, the floodgate of hell for the terrorism of the people of Eastern Nigeria by the Nigerian army, which has led to what I call the, silence genocide that is currently going on in Eastern Nigeria. So don't rub it on my face, man. Okay. So anyway, let's go to that part where he said Nnamdi Kanu told him that he will sign any conditions they bring before him. That's a political statement. And that's absolute rubbish, right? But again, like I said, these guys can say what they like. They can do what they like, right? At the end of the day, within themselves, okay, if they are convinced within themselves and beat their own argument, wherever, I don't care what they do. Let that guy out first. That's when all of us will now begin to kind of like, So what is going to happen now? Let him out first. Because there are so many things that is so wrong with this. Do you understand? There's so many things wrong. However, him being alive and healthy is so valuable. So that's same a valid cause of his. For this good for nothing career criminals to just kill him for nothing. So that's mine. No, I'm not talking about others. So here you get. It's talking about criminality in Eastern Nigeria. Criminality in Eastern Nigeria. It's unknown. What is unknown gunmen? You are having insecurity in a place that is the most militarized region in Nigeria. That is not where the Boko Haram, ISWAP, ISIS, the Fulani terrorist are. But yet is this the most militarized region of Nigeria, southeast of Nigeria. Unknown gunmen. Until they caught these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 criminals. They were policemen who were also kidnappers in Anambra. But guess what? If Fulani doesn't kidnap people, they are soldiers, they are policemen, they are kidnappers with guns. That's how corrupt and how rigged the entire system is in that place. So they caught these guys. They were policemen, ladies and gentlemen. Olopa protested Nigeria against EFCC. Ladies and gentlemen. Now, so EFCC told them, if they burn you well, we have received information that you want to destroy Nigeria. You want to shake any cock in the car. Why are people interested in protesting against the EFCC? Right? Because it is Nigeria where the EFCC that cannot find Yeye Bello, they can find everyone else. Rude, not with court ruling or any court order or any search warrant. But when EFCC looks at your house and they're like, this house fine, they can burst into it. If they look at outside the club and they see the kind of cars parked outside, they will attack the place and assault everybody inside the place. They are fighting for, they are fighting financial crime. Imagine you and your family in the living room. And then the next thing, you check your phone, there's a signal. Your Ring camera is picking up something. What's the jump the fence? Or break if you have an electric fence. They will cut it off. They will jump the fence. They will cut your lock from inside, open your gate open, and then they will drive in. As they are driving in, right, they are manning every corner of your house. And at the end of the day, they will just say, oh, sorry, people receiving an information. It is a crude place, a lawless place, a very, very lawless place. Talking about law, Nigeria signed, or Goodluck Ebere Jonathan signed a bill into law in 2014. And that bill was that anything that has to do with homosexuality in Nigeria is a crime that can see you go to jail for 14 years. Now, they didn't take that well in the West because your sexuality is considered as a human right too. It's your right. What you do with your body and all that is your right. But that's not the same feeling in Africa. Most of Africa, yeah? In Nigeria, it's even much like a state. So gays, lesbians, crosses, LGBTQ plus and all of them, they would rather just kind of like practice it in secret. I'm telling you this is the reality because it's considered, how can you keep waiting, that kind of feeling, right? So the West believed that Goodluck Ebere Jonathan crossed the line for signing that into law in Nigeria. To them, that means you are persecuting homosexuals. We are not going to give you our money. We're not going to give you this. We're not going to give you that, right? They stopped Nigeria from getting weapons and all of that. It was like the icing on the cake or the nail on the coffin for Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's government. But last month, P0W and his gang, they went to Brussels in Belgium and they signed an EU Samoa Plus deal of $150 billion. That $150 billion, they are not giving it to Nigeria. Because I don't even listen. EU has a body, okay, that they are funding. That body is called Samoa. I don't know the full meaning. Don't ask me. Okay, right? Samoa. Now, inside that group, they have 79 countries. Okay. Now, these 79 countries, right? You see, that Samoa deal is like a pact that says if you join, you will support human rights, you will support democracy, you will support rule of law. So there are other sections in it, in that bill, right? In that bill that explained what's right, including the rights of gays, lesbians, this, that. And this is not a problem with so many countries. I don't know how many countries in Africa is comfortable with it, but it's not a problem. So the deal has been lying there since 2018, when Bokwari attended similar meeting, but he didn't sign. Sure, you get. So Nigeria was like, we'll consider, we'll see what, I mean, they didn't sign. Last month, when P0W heard about it, he quickly dispatched people to go ahead. Sign it, John. Tell them that it is clear that the countries that have law against homosexuals, they will take that one out. So they will take that part out. They will just, as long as they have democracy and human rights, and Nigeria have democracy and human rights, forget that part. It's not part of, you're not the mad. You will need to do two things. Opt out now, or don't implement that's your law. The one that says people who are gays will go to jail for 14 years. Many of your governors are gays. Yeah, many of them, they are homosexuals. Some of them claim to be homosexual because of the rituals they are performing, because they wanted power. They wanted all nonsense. See, they are pedophiles. They are those who are sodomizing young boys. That is why, in practice, it is a pure waste of nonsense. But northern Nigeria right now, where you have the most homosexuals in Nigeria. How did I know that? How do you know that it's northern Nigeria that has many homosexuals? Okay. Here, you have the highest rate of rape coming from northern Nigeria. Guess who are mostly the victims of rape? Boys. Go and ask. Boys. Not just, I'm not trying to underplay the other rapes of women. No. I'm just saying, if you check the number of young boys being raped, sodomized in northern Nigeria, but it's been underreported because they will need to arrest all the so many of the past, some of those clerics, right? Some of your politicians, some of your governors, senators, they will have to arrest them. Pedophile, sodomizing their children, you have them up there. But they are also the most hypocrites. They are the ones that will stone anybody. A poor man that is accused of being gay, they will stone him to death. Inside, I mean, that's in northern Nigeria. So right now, what they are now saying is that if I say Kanu don't dupe them, they don't support that. To say we have been scammed. I saw one of them who said we have been scammed. Listen to this. They're already discussing it on their TV. Yeah, listen.
Representatives of the civil society of Nigeria have expressed their displeasure over the agreement between the European Union and the countries of African, Caribbean and Pacific Group of States known as EU-ACP Agreement to be signed on November the 15th. Chairman of the Human Rights Committee, Sonny Ekwosi, pointed out the consequences of nodding to such agreement, stating that it includes abrasive provisions that are unaligned with the philosophical, communal and religious values of Nigeria and its people. He added that the adoption of this agreement is a subtle inclusion of LGBTQ into Nigerian reality. He cited that the treaty gives no place to parliamentarians to thoroughly examine the treaty.
2 weeks ago, to hear that they are going to sign this agreement on the 15th of November 2023. And we are wondering what has happened. People who agreed, including Nigerian ministers and Nigerian parliamentarians who were there, and they said they were not going to sign. Now they have agreed to sign on the 15th of November, which is a few days from now. And we are saying, look, this cannot go because LGBT is illegal in Nigeria. There's what is called Sex Prohibition Act 2014, which was enacted during the government of administration of Jonathan, and that law is still there. Why should we not go ahead and sign a document that has to do with promotion of LGBT? It's completely unacceptable, and we should not sign. Nigeria should say no. Namibia has.
So Nigeria don't sign, sir. But Kalu is now. See, people know the content of that treaty. Okay. But Bayo Onofunuga and so many other people, they have tried to explain to you, no, that section is not for Nigeria. The treaty is no more powerful than Deni. See how they bobo demo. I want with you. EU will give $150 billion to almost 80 countries. I think it's 89. No, 80. Let's say 80. Excuse me. So you see that 150 billion. So they will share it among 80 or so countries for the next 10 years. Now, AIDS, you get that? Oh, let's give Nigeria 200 million euro. Okay, to support women healthcare. Oh, let us give Nigeria another 200 million euro. Okay, maybe for gender alignment or gender this or that. You see, they shall kind of, that's what the money is meant for. It's not that they will give Nigeria 150 billion. And then you can say, better get the gain here, or to buy 150 billion. Even P0W will have to kind of go back to his Chicago days sex as a female. But that's not how it works. So P0W is now explaining to them in Nigeria that no, it's a different deal. This one, there is no LGBTQ. Why are you lying to them? People have the copies of all of these things. These are far. I don't know what he's saying, I shall not say no, they happy or top this.
Ana cikin wannan gwamnati da zo ta rattaba hannu akan takaddar da za ta goyi bayan luwaɗi, maɗugo, auren namiji da namiji, auren mace da namiji, zinace da tsiya, a taimaki turawa su zo su shimfiɗa barna a wannan ƙasa. Wanda ƙasashenmu, duk ƙasashenmu na Afirka gaba ɗaya, galibinsu sun ce ba za su yadda da wannan ba, amma Najeriya ta rattaba hannu ba da izininmu ba da yadda mu ba. Ina demokaradiyyar take? Mulkin mallaka, mulkin zalunci. Da izinin wa kuka rattaba hannu kuka karbi wannan dokar da za a halarta ma namiji ya kwanta da namiji, mace ta nemi yar uwarta? Yakin musulunci kenan, LGBT, ƙungiyar yakin addini, yakin shari'a, tsarin da zai gurgurkuje musulunci. Ina demokradiyya da ta bada dama kowa ya addinin shi?
a zo a rattaba mana hannu akan abin da ba mu yadda da shi ba. Wallahi har kiristocin ƙasar nan wallahi tallahi da yawansu ba su yadda ba, yanzu suna ta rubutu ba su aminta da wannan abin ba. Muna bacci sun rattaba mana hannu sun karɓo kuɗin, su cinye kuɗin kuma su shuka mana bala'i. Allah ya isa, kuma wallahi sai Allah ya maganin ku akan wannan barna da kuka shuka. Allah ba zai bar ku ba. Ina adalcin da aka ce a yi? Ya kamata a ce yanzu ɗan Najeriya rarrashinsa za a yi, ba wai a yi masa abin da zai jefa cikin bagin ciki da cikin bala'i ba. Manzo Allah ya ce la tu'addunna al-huquqa ila ahliha, ku sauke hakki zuwa ga ma'abuta hakkoki da Allah ya ɗora muku akan ku. Ana cikin wannan gwamnati.
They are now asking Tifnumbu, return the deal to them. Oh. Tell them you made a mistake. Oh. Don't bring that here. You know they are already complaining. They said Tifnumbu deceived them. A company like said this Mumu ticket. Now the Mumus actually bought them. No be, you know, we say a Muslim ticket. They shut down to Mumu tickets because those who allow themselves to be deceived that Muslim means as Muslims, so their life will be better in Nigeria under Muslim. Now, no be Mumu be that. No be Mumu be that. You would supported a drug baron, a drug dealer, a terrorist. You supported them because they say they are Muslim. They say one Muslim is good, two Muslim is better. Anybody that doesn't support a Muslim ticket is promoting religious intolerance. People will push Muslim ticket. They accuse other people, say they were spreading religious hatred. They are using religion to want to. They said, see, oh mommy, really real. They said if others want to use religion to win election, when they're actually telling you that if you are in northern Nigeria, if you are a Christian, don't bother coming out or we'll kill you. This is the Muslim. Don't work against Muslim ticket. Now they don't feel like say, oh, they be mumu. They say they have been scammed. I won't really be scammed. Man, why don't we just go to Kenya a little bit, right? Some more Kenyans have been winning. Oh, I need to give you updates, okay? How many of you remember this guy? That's where I'm going to start from. Ruto versus others, right? Or do you remember this guy inside their courtroom, day 1 or 2, when their protest started? He was arrested by their police and they took him straight to the court for protesting bad governance before Gen Z escalated it. Do you remember him? Or you forgotten him? I hope not. I haven't.
Gentry with others went before court to create disturbance in a manner likely to cause a breach of peace by yelling, shouting, and attempt to disrupt the photo shooting session by the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Economic Planning and his delegates. Is it true or not true? Julius, is it true or not true?
Okay, I don't know to betray my concerns. Your Honor.
Can you respond to what you're doing? Is it true or not true? You'll be given time.
It's true. And as I said, I don't want to betray my concerns. I'm ready to do anything to see change in this country. I'm ready to die for freedom. I'm ready to die for justice. I'm ready to die for equality. We cannot continue living as slaves in our own country, in the land of our fathers, the land where our fathers bled and died to free this nation from the shackles of colonialism. Colonialism never really ended in this country. Even in this court, they use colonial penal codes, colonial laws. That is why I cannot get justice in a court of law. I want to speak myself. I realize that there comes an existential moment in time when you must speak for yourself. Nobody else can do it for you. I am tired. I'm so sick and tired of living as a slave in my own country. And I'll say these a lot of times, many times, and I'm going to do so many things, so many actions to bring change into this country. You cannot continue to be ruled like this, being ruled by sick people, by mad people, by liars and thieves and criminals. These are the people who are in power in Kenya, in Africa. That is the situation we are living in. That is kind of life we are living in. That's why people are dying and nobody cares. Poor people are suffering, nobody cares. So I don't know what's the role of the government. I don't know. I want to know today, what's the role of the government? To protect the people or to kill the people or to make the people suffer? I think we have failed our people. The government has failed. Everybody has failed. We have also failed ourselves. I don't know. My concerns will not allow me to keep silent. And at any time, at any moment, I don't know whether this is going to come up anywhere. But we must have this debate. We must have this conversation. We cannot continue living in fear. I see a lot of fear in this country. A lot of fear in the courts. Just yesterday, we saw a magistrate who was shot by a police officer. I want to speak, my dear friends. I want to speak because when you try to tell me to keep silent, my heart is burning. You know, it's burning because of this country. Because for 60 years, we have been living like we are not human beings, like we are half human beings. We are considered like children of a lesser God. Now, this cannot continue. It cannot continue in any way. We are ruled by a minority that does not care for the interests of the majority. Politicians are liars and thieves, and they have stolen our freedom, they have stolen our minds, they have stolen our land, they have stolen our future. Politicians are established in lies and failed promises. We are victims of lies and failed promises, deferred hopes, and blasted dreams for 60 years. I don't know what will happen. I don't know whether you're going to sentence me. I'm ready to be sentenced for 100 years. But I'm going to keep speaking the truth until the day I leave this world. We cannot continue living like this. My dear friends, we must resist. Resistance is the only way for this country, for Africa. People are dying everywhere. Even in Congo, people are suffering and we are silent. I don't know. We have failed as human beings. We have completely failed as human beings. We are on a test as human beings. I don't know why we call ourselves Christians. I don't know why we call ourselves educated people, civilized people. We are not. We are not civilized at all. We are stupid. And this stupidity is taking a toll on this country. Too much toll. It's so bad. It's too bad. It's too bad. We cannot continue living like this. The government must get out of the people.
But on his behalf, Your Honor, is
Gentry with others from the
Bless you, brother. It was the first to kind of probably, I think the Gen Z heard his call. We must resist and don't give up. They didn't give up. Oh. They killed them, yeah. They've kidnapped some of them, beat them up, tortured them, threatened them. But they didn't give up. Every Tuesday, whenever it is 11:59 p.m. on Monday, Ruto would have to wake up and sit up all morning, all day. If these Kenyans are going to break the barrier, jump the fence, and drag me out of this place. Right now, he's making so much concessions, like serious concessions. I have this long speech I want to play for you. It is a member of the parliament from Kenya. Again, no interruption, no nothing, clean, clear message that you should. Let's listen. Here.
My brother Harun Cheruiyot, I knew you were worthy, but I now know you are much more worthy than I thought you were. You have actually surprised me. I remember once I made a phone call to you and I was asking you, how do we manage this thing of Madam Nyakango? And you said, please tell her to know that we are trying to figure out what to do. And I took the message, and that's when I knew that you are a serious person. I'm proud of you. Keep it up. Madam Speaker, I also would like to mention the name of Madam Nyakango, who's the Controller of Budget, and Madam Nancy, who's the Auditor General, the two incredible women of this republic. If I had my own reward, I would give them. Because when everything else seems to have been failing, some of us have been talking to them, and all the time we feared for their lives. Why? Not because anything would happen, but the costs were too high. The expectation was much higher. They have done their job, and I'm so happy that this house, which is known as the Oversighting House, has seen the light. My colleagues who are in this house, I'm very lucky because I've lost my voice a bit. I'm lucky because I have the institutional memory. I have been in politics for the last 30 years. Those 30 years I've been in elective politics, about 22. Madam Speaker, the problems, the way Mzee Odinga said about Kenya, have not been started by President William Ruto. If you look at the history, and Madam Speaker, the other day people were asking me, how did you tell that these young Gen Zs are actually going to come to the streets after 1 year? I said, I look at the trend. If you look at independence 1962-3, that was the 20 years beyond where the liberation movement took place. After that, we got independence. It took another 20 years for us to have a military coup. The people who are guiding and who are even within that military coup are not old men like Jaramogi or Charles Njonjo at that time. It was young Gen Z students of the University of Nairobi and young people who believed in the ideal of what Kenya was. The second issue that came up, Madam Speaker, was after, by the year 2002, there was another 20 years. Then you come to 2022, to 2002 is when Kibaki was elected, is when we have a referendum, is when we have a new constitution, and then we say Kenya is now on the right path. After that, Madam Speaker, we did not follow the letter of the constitution. What many of us have never understood is that your democracy is as valid and as reasonable and as verifiable and is implementable as the people who are willing to follow and implement that constitution. We have completely failed our people. And that is why when the elections took over and we had challenges, and that is why when you look at our country and the crisis that has come up, when you look at the issues which are bedeviling our country, you realize that we are on quicksand. Unless you have old men and old women, people of dignity and decency, people who have got wisdom, people who are not greedy to fix this country, we will not have a country very soon. Madam Speaker, I've served as an assistant minister. I went to Cote d'Ivoire, sent by President Kibaki to go and visit President Gbagbo. I got into his house. He was wearing a vest. That time the military was around him. He was being deposed. 2 weeks later, he went home with his wife. They were half naked. Those sins are not sins that Africa should be proud of. Madam Speaker, our country has broken down. Our country has challenges. But before I go to how, in a short notice, what we can do, I would like to ask the President, and I asked him the other day, the children who died and the children who are in the prisons, please remove them. Those who have died, I want to ask this House, the Senate, let us make sure that those children get a state funeral. Those who are not criminals, these are children who had reached a dead end. Madam Speaker, what is wrong with our country? We call it a company with shareholders. Our country is not a company. Our company is Kenya, which is a state. It has 50 million people who all expect and demand certain services from the state. We, the politicians in this House, I heard my colleague speak. I am so happy that we are now telling each other the truth. We are the ones who carry militias. We are the ones who go and carry cattle rustlers. We are the ones who have got companies that are doing business in government departments. We are the ones who are stealing the money. Look at the national government, call it down, bring it down to the National Assembly. We must begin to look at issues like CDF. We must look at the Women Fund. We must look at the structure. Do we need all the people who have been given offices? I've been asking this publicly. Why are governors running county governments as if they are private companies where they are stealing money, buying properties abroad, driving such big vehicles, including ourselves? When did we decide that I must drive a car which is 4.8 cc? That at 3,000 cc is not good enough. When our children don't have medicines, when our women are not giving birth, when we can't feed our children, when we buy fertilizer, we deal on it, we sell some of it, we sell mchanga. We are bringing in maize when we are supposed to be planting maize and giving farmers fertilizers and giving them funds so that we can get production and increase that, so that we create jobs for our people. It is we politicians who go and buy 2 million metric tons of maize. We come and sell. We bring 3 million metric tons of sugarcane. Mumias is dying. Chemelil is dying. Sony Sugar is dying. Those are factories that used to employ people. Who are the biggest dealers of investment companies in Kenya? We, the political class. What happened to Kenya Airways? Look at it now. It's smelly, filthy. It was the pride of Africa. Who runs Kenya Power? Why are we not told who are the owners of the independent power suppliers of this country? Why are we not being told who owns our national parks? But you hear money is being stolen by none other than the elite and the political class. These people out here are tired. These people are tired. I was crying this morning today because we are messing up a good thing. We are messing up this country. Who wants to be a refugee? And there is enough for you people to eat, so long as you eat with manners. The revenue we collect is enough to run 8 African countries: Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania. You go to Congo, you go to South Sudan, you go to Somalia, and you go to Ethiopia. That's what our goal.
Are you still following? That is where it begin to get sweeter. That's the man. Listen, there may be a theatric about it. He's a politician, okay? Or if you have been to Kenya, or you don't have to be. If you have been following the development in Kenya, even the president is shaking. So don't think all he is saying is just drama. Baba, I'm still coming to that of Ruto. You go hear Ruto yourself soon. Ruto will speak now. You'll be like, now Ruto be this. I'll show you. Things don't they move too fast. And this guy is pretty much trying to save his head. Ready to let go anything, any extra they are giving him, he doesn't want anymore. In Kenya right now, politicians are saying, okay, you know what? I don't want that anymore then. Take it. Just take this then. This is what they are paying me. This is my card as a lawmaker. This is how much is on the card. I give it back. Don't give me card anymore. Just pay me my salary. In Kenya right now, listen to this other part.
What our goddamn budget is. Just manage it. Don't steal it. A few people are stealing too much. These kids out here, they know everything. They know your houses. They know where your kids go to school. They know which properties of land you have. Why must somebody have 4 million acres of land to his name? What happened to our mentality? Then we pretend and run to churches talking about Christianity, how Jesus... Do you understand what you are dealing with? The people out here don't even believe in God anymore. The people out here are tired of the lies, the religious organizations. And I have to say this, I'm a Catholic. I was so happy I saw the Purple No Show talk about the issues of a country. Let us forget that we can run this country as tribes. Let us accept that there is a new sheriff in town. That sheriff is the GNC. They are partyless, they are tribeless, they don't have money, they just have bundles and a phone. And they'll stop this country to move. I would like to plead with the members of this house, when it comes to looking at what role our committees are playing. Look at what happens. I want to thank my brothers Sifuna, my brother Chirargei. I want to thank Madam Dulo. These are, many of you may not know, we've never discussed it here. How many times we've been threatened that we are raising issues about county governments losing billions. I mean, who doesn't know how many governors own apartments and houses in Kilimani Road? Each one of them owning an apartment costing 1.5 billion shillings. Why didn't the fool just go and build a hospital where he comes from? How I wish we stole the money and put it at home. Some of them are going to Dubai. People are going to America. You see on social media. I just saw somebody commenting saying that the senators got nothing to do. I want him to tell me how he bought a Bentley and is an MP. Explain to me, how does somebody, the truth is, I'm born with advantage and privilege. That is the truth. I saw my father driving a big car when I was a small boy. That is not what drives me. What drives me is, how do you get a member of parliament driving a Mercedes that costs 49 million shillings? And we are watching, and that is normal, and it is okay. And it is okay. Shame on us. Then we make sure this money doesn't go to the schools. We make sure that hospitals have no money. We start building hospitals now. We want the poor people to come to those hospitals. Poor people can't come to Nairobi Hospital. They can't come to Aga Khan. They can't. Some of them can't afford Kenyatta. You saw the other day, Kenyatta has a debt of 6.6 billion. The Eldoret Hospital, Eldoret KTRH, has a debt of 3.9 billion. When you ask, they tell you we don't know where the money went. Are we fools? Do we need to buy houses which have got 15 bedrooms and drive 19 cars and put them in your parking lot, and you want 10,000 acres of land? You want a ranch? You fools, you go and buy a ranch in Australia. This is where we are. We keep blaming the police. The policeman cannot do anything. Have we ever gone as a Senate to go and see where the police lives? How he takes his kids to school and his salary is 19,000. And this house has to start thinking about those things. We guys must begin, and we ladies and gentlemen in this house must begin to agree that we can reduce our salaries, that we can drive smaller cars, that we can wear counters. In fact, the only thing I'm very annoyed about the president, I'm the one who started wearing counters. Now he has given counter a bad name. I want Kenyans to love counters the way I loved them. Let us wake up, Kenyans. We can't play football. Money comes from FIFA, it is eaten. World Rally Championship, money comes from there, it's eaten. You go, you want Kenya Lawn Tennis Association, they only want 50,000 to hold an international tennis tournament. Not even the minister appears there. But when the minister is traveling out of the country, he's got how many people? Private jet, goes to Dubai, books one of those hotels, luxury hotels, and he comes back to Nairobi with the same 9 people he took with a private jet. And you assume that the Gen Zs don't know. These days they track you. They can know which private jet you took, where it went, and how it came back. Many of us are worried because either because of history or because of what has happened, we have got a lot of money now, we are owning so much land. Please allow us to have spatial planning. Your land, we can have an implemented law in this house to protect your even identity. But please don't stop stealing public land. Let us have mercy at our people. You saw people from Eldoret and Kakamega talking about, oh, our chambers which our grandfathers left for us. Now you guys who are MPs and senators, you come, you chase us away, and then you throw us into court. You go and bribe the court. And I want to talk about the judiciary. We respect you. We know that you are most of the time under the pressure. We know there are certain things which you can even be blackmailed, but we want to hold you at a higher standard. We must hold the judiciary at a higher standard, the legislators at the higher standard, and make sure the president is also at the higher standard. That is how we can move as a country and stop this nonsense. We behave like monkeys running through a forest looking for bananas without knowing whether it's the bananas they want or it's oranges. I really, really want to say this, Madam Speaker, finally. I was nearly giving up on my country. I have changed my mind because of today. The young men who are fighting for this country have done us proud. Let us treat them with dignity. Let us make sure we engage them. Let us stop doing the things which make them angry, desperate, and upset with the ruling class. The truth is, if this country breaks down, it takes all of us down. I can tell you, I was in South.
Thank you so much for sticking to this video to the end. Like I said before, now it's time for us to go to the comment section to air our mind and our opinion. Say what you think about this video and this platform. Do it constructively. Share this video, like, subscribe, and also continue to watch Linda's TV show, because this is the home of news. Until I see you again in my next video, remain blessed. For now, I would say bye-bye.